Hi, it's Shelley Overton again, and this is the AstroEnergy show for April 22nd. This week we are talking about Mercury and what he stands for, and also we will discuss the aspects so that you know a little bit more about what they're all about. We also take some calls, and that's the show for this week. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Hello, welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the April 22nd, 2015 show of AstroEnergy Astrology. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an intuitive astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I'm very happy that you arrived here at the same place and same time with me. So today we are going to be talking about Taurus because now the sun is in Taurus. And I also thought I would throw out some aspects at you, kind of as a refresher, and for those who aren't real familiar with what the aspects are, I would talk about those as well, and then we'll take some calls. So let's get started. Actually, I always like to start out with the actual weather, and today is very lovely and sunny. It's in the lower 80s. Let's see. I'm just going to check on it real quick here. But I'm in Orlando, so it's kind of sunny, and I'm really happy about that because I've got so many years here in the last few that have been really rainy and kind of overcast, and I'm just so tired of it. I know you think of Florida as a sunshine state, but it is not. But today it is. It most certainly is. And it's 87 degrees, so it's warm and it's sunny, and I'm very happy to share that with you. So hopefully it's a nice day where you are as well. Okay, so what's going on in the sky? Well, we have the sun now in Taurus at 2 degrees. We have Mercury at 16, conjunct within 6 minutes of conjunction to Mars in Taurus as well. So I'll get back to all this. I'm just going to give it to you real quick and then come back to it. So Venus is at 13 degrees and 0 minutes Gemini. Moon is at 25 degrees Gemini, and he goes in tonight at, I want to say, 12:25, I think it is, a.m. Eastern, and 9:25, or it's either 25 or 52. Hang on a second. I'll just look real quick. 25. I was right the first time. p.m. So the moon is in Gemini. Jupiter is at Leo, 12 degrees. The north node is at 9 Libra, with the south node at 9 Aries. We've got Saturn at 3 degrees Sagittarius, Pluto at 15 degrees Capricorn, Neptune at 9 degrees Pisces, Uranus at 17 degrees Aries. So that pretty much gives you a nice circle. I'm not doing the asteroids right now. But let's see. So Taurus Sun in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, and Mars in Taurus. So Mercury is my little trickster who likes to stir things up. So he focuses our attention on money, and he also is about possessions. He's about, this is what we're thinking about now, because that's what Mercury does. It's about thoughts, it's about talking, communications, and he's curious. He wants to know about it. So he may be researching Taurus ideologies. So, and it's also about planting. So it's springtime. And so this also goes for our sun in Taurus. This is Taurus energy right now. So we're about money, we're about values, planting, the earth energy, taking our time, being on a well-worn path. It's not that anything happens very quickly right now. Mars is in Taurus, so he's plodding along, just taking his time, enjoying the scenery. And then Mercury comes in and says, yeah, but have you seen that? Oh, look at that. What's that doing? There's some bees. There's some butterflies. It's spring. Wow, did you see the birds with their lovely chicks? So that's what Mercury does. He gets us involved in all Taurian issues. And it also means that we think about the stocks, the economy, anything related to what we consider value in our material world, because Taurus is an earth energy, and earth signs are all about the material world. So, this week I personally bought a couple stocks and a couple shares, I should say, of stock, and it was Etsy, the handmade goods stock that just had its IPO on the 16th. Kind of testing it, because when it went public, it was not necessarily good aspects, and Saturn, of course, is retrograde, and it's also got the IPO had a retrograde Pluto, and so it was a little difficult. I think it also had the moon at last degrees of a sign. I can't remember. I don't have the chart right here. But it was a little bit difficult, but there were planets in Taurus. And I think the moon was at, when I bought it, the moon was at 25 degrees Taurus. And I have Jupiter at 26, 28, somewhere in there. So the moon was almost conjunct my Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, which is a lucky energy. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to test this. I'm going to see what we get here. So I bought a couple shares. So that's the kind of energy you'll be seeing right now, thinking about all those lovely material things. Now, Venus is the ruler of Taurus, so it's about love and all things romantic. Taurians are one of the more romantic signs when it comes to love. They can also be a little possessive, along with Scorpio, because it is about the value of it, the material value of it, and it can make them a bit more materialistic about love and more possessive. So you can see that. Well, Venus was in Taurus, so that might have brought out more of that, but now she's in Gemini. And so we'll move around the zodiac. So that kind of gives you an idea of what Taurus is about. Let's see. Taurus rules the throat and singing, and beauty, of course, is associated with Taurus. So it's about having a beautiful voice and enjoying music, enjoying things that are tactile, because it's the physical world. So they like to touch, they like to feel texture. It's about also food and feeding the body, because it rules the second house of the zodiac, which is right after Aries. Aries is the new energy coming in, the birth of new ideas, the birth of a person. And so the next house would be the material body, the well-being, and the value of that body. And so it's about feeding the body, feeding, the materiality of the person. So it can also rule getting overweight a little bit. Mars is in Taurus, and if you've been feeling a lot of attraction to chocolate now, that's probably why. So going on to Venus in Gemini, she is, again, in a chatty sign, and she may have a lot of lovers. She is very appealing to the opposite sex and to the same sex, to pretty much everybody. And Gemini means that she doesn't discriminate, and she embraces everyone. She's like, okay, I can see this, I can see that. All the air signs tend to be very inclusive when it comes to who they interact with, and so they like to connect. They like to have people around. So she's a people person right now, and she's social, and she wants to talk. And the moon is in Gemini as well. So the moon is wrapping up the energy for the last couple of days in Gemini. So the two together it's about connecting to a partner, connecting to your love, connecting to nurturing, which the moon rules, and maybe connecting to mothers, which the moon rules. And I did, in fact, connect to my mom a lot the last couple of days, because I have family in town. And, of course, Gemini rules the third house, which is the house of siblings and pets. And I had a caller, or actually a connection through my show. She had lost her dog out of the backyard and contacted me to try and find her. And I told her I thought it was a neighbor, and she also thought it was a neighbor. And fortunately, the moon was joining the sun over the weekend, and I think that there was a connection. She got the dog back, so that was really good, but not without a little bit of stress in that. So I'm sending all positive thoughts out to her today. So Jupiter in Leo in conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Again, the burr under the saddle. I'm going to go over these aspects again for everybody so we know what we're talking about. We're kind of on the same page with that. But Jupiter wanting attention, Pluto saying, I understand you want attention for yourself and you want to connect, but we need to get our nose to the grindstone and let's just be pragmatic about this. Let's not be all flowery and fluffy, and we don't want to really have attention. You know, Capricorn is not a sign that loves attention. It is a sign that tends to take whatever tasks are available or necessary and go ahead and do them. And they can be strong behind the scenes. Earth signs are really good workers and tend to do a lot of things behind the scenes. They aren't people who are that attracted to fame, although they may attract fame on some level if they're particularly wealthy, because earth signs know about money, understand money. So anyway, Jupiter is kind of having it out right now a little bit with that Pluto energy. You may be feeling that somewhere in your chart, that there is someone who doesn't necessarily want to give you a lot of attention in a career position or some type of organizational position. And then Saturn is also in conjunct the Sun right now, and the Sun's 1 degree away from an exact in conjunct with Saturn. So again, it's similar energy. The Sun ironically wants attention because it's about the self and the ego, but in the sign of Taurus kind of makes it a little bit more low-key. But there's still this kind of egoic need to have some attention paid or be valued, which is more in alignment with the Taurus energy. And of course, as the Sun continues to move on, it moves into a trine with Pluto. So definitely Taurians will feel more energy from Pluto during these months. They have been feeling it because they're an Earth energy. Virgos, Taurus, and Capricorns are all feeling Pluto and Capricorn right now. And also the Taurians are feeling, my computer the screen just disappeared. There it is. Okay. So I guess my screensaver wanted to kick in, like, stop that, behave yourself. So Mercury is in trine right now to Pluto. And so all of this Pluto energy is saying, okay, yes, it's a trine, but you're going to be feeling the strong, it's like, I want to say restriction, but that's only part of it. It's like aligning yourself with a purpose and, you know, tightening the loose ends and tightening the frivolity in some sense, that like, oh, you know, let's go here, let's go there, you know, whatever. You know, being looser, being more emotional, all those kind of strings are being crunched right now together and saying, no, we have to focus, just focus and work and move towards this goal. At the same time, Jupiter is expanding that Leo energy, which is in square to Mercury this past week, and also Mars by about 4 degrees. Jupiter's moving into an exact square, but right now he's about 4 degrees away. And then, so yeah, there's this pragmatism and this, you know, kind of puritanical attitude that's much more just work. You know, what are you doing? Don't be frivolous. Don't need to break from the crowd. Don't be bigger than or out there or get more attention. But Jupiter in Leo is expanding that. So he's bringing that energy to us all. And so there's a side of us that does want recognition, does want attention, and feels like we're not getting it. So there's a little bit of a battle going on with this energy. But definitely Leo is one of the more fortunate signs, and Taurus brings money. So it's about learning to work together, learning to take a certain pragmatic side, but also allow the attention to come to you. So Taurians are maybe not feeling as comfortable with that energy, but they have to learn, and that's what this is about. So Jupiter is definitely triggering that in your chart. Okay, so real quick, we'll get to the aspects before too much more time goes by so we can get to our callers. Excuse me here while I try and put on my glasses. There we go. Okay, so in a zodiac chart, we have a circle. And any of you who have taken geometry in school, this is kind of like a little refresher of geometry. And ironically, never thought I'd be this much into math, but when you study astrology, you got to know numbers. So 0 degrees apart. So when the planets are close to the same degree, and again, a circle, the wheel of the zodiac, is a photograph of the sky around the Earth and where the planets are around the Earth. So it's geocentric, not helio, which is around the sun. Yes, the sun is the center of the zodiac, or of the solar system, obviously, but in astrology, in Western astrology, I particularly use geocentric. You can use heliocentric, but since we live on Earth, I use geocentric. So 0 degrees, there are 360 degrees in the circle, and when a couple planets or more than one planet, they're all right there at 0 degrees or within an 8 to 10 degree orb, meaning arc. So 0 is conjunction, but 8 degrees on either side of 0 is still conjunction. So it's about blending power and uniting the energy. It's about feeling that the two planets are acting as one. So right now, Mercury is conjunct Mars at the same degree. So they are very much right there at the same point. So they're acting the same. Whatever you're thinking about, you're taking action on. And right now it's about money, but our thoughts are in alignment with our ability to take action. So that's really good for Earth energy, and probably it's okay for air energy, and it's still good for water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, but it's probably a little difficult for fire energy because they're, at least for Jupiter or Leo people, they're having a difficult time. But also Aquarians right now may be having a difficult time because they square Taurus as well. Okay, so let's see. There are an awful. I have a book that explains that. Just to give you an idea, there are names for degrees: 0, 18, 22, 24, 30, 32, 36, 40, 45. There are so many degree demarcations in astrology. I'm just going to give you the main ones. 30 degrees apart is a semi-sextile. So if you think about it, when planets are opposite each other, they are 180 degrees apart. You subtract 30 degrees, and they're 150 degrees apart. So it's a similar aspect to 150. So 30 and 150, one is semi-sextile, which is like a V with a line underneath it, and the other one is an inconjunct or a quincunx, has both names, and it looks like an upside-down V with a line across the top. So the same sign, only flipped. And so with the semi-sextile, 30 degrees, there is an energy of continuity, a sympathetic energy. So they're 30 degrees apart. It's kind of like they're in the same gradient area of the sky. And then it's flowing of energy, while 150 degrees is, again, inconjunct or quincunx, and that's an adjustment or uncertainty or fluctuation of energies. And that's one of the ones that I find a little bit more perplexing and difficult to take. I think that energy is kind of like, if there's somebody out there who's going to get in your way, it'll happen with an inconjunct. Like right now, Venus is in Gemini. So she's gossipy, and she's probably going to get in the way of what's going on at work. And so you can look out for someone at work who's kind of doing that. Let's see. Okay, so we're going past that. Sextile is 60 degrees, so of course double the semi-sextile. So a sextile is about creativity and cooperative energy. So that's 2 signs away. So say you have something at 0 degrees Cancer, 0 degrees Virgo is sextile, and that works together. You're 2 signs away. You're still in positive energy, and so it's more of cooperative energy. So that's a good one. Square is 90 degrees, which we all know is a right angle, and that's one of the more difficult ones. I think a square is probably my least favorite. It means strain or stress, challenges, dynamic tension. I do think that any of the difficult and even easier aspects will bring benefit on the other side. But when we're going through it, I think the squares are probably the most difficult because it seems like someone's just being difficult and, you know, there's nothing you can do a lot of times. It feels like you're just stuck with them. You're stuck with this and nobody's seeing anybody else's point of view. So that's probably one of my least favorites. And then the trine, which is 120 degrees. It's ease or complementary flow of energies. And so, again, it's like the opposite of the sextile. So I shouldn't say opposite. It creates a triangle within the chart. So you can divide a chart by houses, 4 houses for each third, and then that will mean that that's a triangle if you put a point on each of the thirds. And so, again, working with each other, but I think more so than sextiles, trines can stir up a little bit of trouble in, you know, even though it's supposed to be positive, I think that, again, like the Earth signs right now, they're feeling a lot of stress and strain from Pluto and Sun, Mercury, Mars going through Taurus. So we're feeling this. We're feeling this tension, and whatever sign they may be in, there's a certain energy of, yes, it's positive, but you have to go through a little something to get there. And I don't know how other astrologers feel about that, but I always feel like there's just a little bit of something that we have to learn, like a little lesson that you go through. And then you have the inconjunct, which we touched on. And then finally, the opposition. And an opposition is 180 degrees, and it's within a 6 to 12 degree orb on either side. And it can be awareness, challenges, and objectivity. It can be opposition is like, you know, you have, like, I always liken it to tug of war, where you've got 2 energies, 2 ideas on opposite opposing ends, and neither one's giving ground. The beauty that I see in an opposition is that it is synergistic. Opposites do attract. So it's not just a point of contention, it's also a point of integration. So whenever we have these oppositions in the chart or affecting us, there's something there that we can learn that'll help make us more whole in what we're going through. So while it may seem like that person is diametrically opposed to us, whoever represents that planet opposite our energy, it can be a really great time of opening up and learning from it. And I do like oppositions. I didn't used to like oppositions. I'd always see those when I was learning astrology, be like, oh, an opposition. Well, I like oppositions because they really do bring us together in their positive aspect. So that's what's going on right now. I hope you learned a little bit today. I was trying to change it up a bit. So let's take a call, and then if we can fit 2 in, we'll do that. And if not, then we'll take a break and come back and take more. So we've got, and it's such a beautiful new studio board, too. Everything's shiny and gradient. It's really cool. 207. Hi, 207. How are you?
Hi, Shelley. This is Cindy. How are you?
Hi, Cindy. Thought it might be you. I'm good. I'm good. So what's going on?
Well, I'm hoping that I'll be able to sell a house within the next 2 months.
Well, just do that then. What's holding you back?
Well, I'm kind of looking at the chart and saying, okay, we've got, we're going to at some point have trying to my Jupiter on the cusp of the IC. Is that helpful?
Interestingly, so, okay, I don't know what you're looking at. I've got July 12th, 49. Is that correct?
Yes.
1:32 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. It's not exactly on the cusp in my chart. I do porphyry, so tropical. Actually, I take it back. You're in Koch, however you want to pronounce it. The one I did for you is that. So, I don't know, maybe I should change it. Let me see what happens if I change it.
Well, it's mine. It's 28 versus 26.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. The transiting Jupiter, correct? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was talking about the
I see. I'm sorry.
natal
I
Jupiter.
See. Duh, natal Jupiter, yes. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Jupiter
anything transiting in
it's transiting
Taurus.
the house of midheaven. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not true. No, I was in the wrong house. I'm sorry. I see. Yeah, you're right. Definitely you've got some triggers going on, but the problem with it is you've got Saturn retrograde in the house of possessions, and it's exactly at the same degree of Chiron for you, which means a wounding. So did you see that when you were doing the chart?
No, I knew it was going to go back and trigger that at some point.
Yeah, well, it's within, the minutes aren't exact, but the degree is exact. So it's definitely right on your Chiron. So whatever you're feeling, about the structure and everything now, like there's a disappointment, there's a hurt attached to it. So I'm not sure, you know your history and what happened with that at some other point. Let me just look here. Venus and Gemini, money and possessions. That's good. Actually, it could be pretty good. When did you put the house up for sale?
Well, this will be the third selling season, so I'm pushing to hopefully try to sell it within the next 2 months.
Okay. Have you already signed the contract?
I'm selling it myself this time around.
You are? Okay. Well, you've got Venus, which rules the second house of money and possessions. She is in money and possessions of the joint money and possessions, so marital property. And she's approaching your 22-degree Mars, which is good because that means action, activity, and something, culminating in action. Right now, as of the moment you're asking the question, the moon's at 25 degrees Gemini, just past the cusp. So, of course, the moon rules home and family, and she's about to go into Cancer, which rules home and family. And she's also in the house that is a natural Jupiter house, which is the 9th house, Sagittarius. And since that's what's ruling your house of money and possessions, that could also be a positive influence. So the moon going into Cancer, I don't like N degrees because, especially if there's no connection, but there is a connection. It's an inconjunct, but you've got it coming up on your Jupiter. Again, Jupiter ruling your second house. So there's definitely something going on. I would say there's definitely going to be an offer, but I'm thinking it might be something that's a fickle offer. The reason is moon in Gemini means there could be a couple offers, and then the moon goes into Cancer and immediately hits Uranus, which is that, again, multiple offers, but it can be they come in and they go. And that doesn't mean that one won't stay, but there is definitely like multiple offers or multiple people coming in. That's a good thing. So right after that, the moon will hit Mercury. And again, all of this is Mercury rules Gemini. So when the moon hits Mercury in Cancer, I think that will be an offer. And that could be one that sticks. And then, go ahead.
My progressed moon is about 4 degrees is sitting on top of Mercury right now.
Oh, good. Wow. So that's another.
So the moon's been hovering around in between those two signs we've been talking about.
So yeah, all these combinations. So we're talking Mercury for the communication. You've got Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Taurus in the house of marriage, but it's in possessions. And this is the interesting thing about your chart. The majority of your house of marriage is a Taurus-ruled energy, which is about finances. So it brings fortune to marriage. And then if you're selling it, all these planets will be moving into Gemini. So I think definitely within the next couple months, you have multiple opportunities to sell your house.
Oh, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, because you have the Sun transiting your house of money and possessions from marital goods. Mercury, Mars, I don't know how quickly Mars will be there. I think it'll be within the next month. So let me get my glasses on and look it up for you because, I'm doing so many things at once here. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mars goes, it'll be in May. Mars will be in Gemini about the 13th. And so at that point, that'll be taking action also. And then you'll have a conjunction. You'll have a Mars return on the 13th of June. So I think it looks good. I don't care that Saturn today is on your Chiron. I would just be careful that the information coming to you from, and what that tells me is there could be an offer from someone, especially because all your Cancer's up in the house of other cultures, so someone coming from another culture. But I'm thinking even the bankers, whatever's going on with banking, might not be telling you all that you need to know. Okay. So just due diligence, but don't be surprised if there are some numbers stuff that is going on with this. Okay. Related to the financial side of it. And so I don't know. Jupiter's right on your Venus, 1 degree off of your Venus up there in the house of career, and it's right on your Pluto. So that looks good too. I mean, you got some good aspects. Of course, you're going to have the squares and things, but as far as what's going on with your house, like you're right in alignment, with all the planets that are touching each one of them, like Jupiter ruling your house of home and family at 28 Capricorn. And then, of course, just heads up, when Pluto gets to those end degrees, early 2020s, you'll probably be moving again, because that's what happens. Major life changes.
Oh, really? When it gets to the end degrees of a sign?
Well, two different triggers. One is the end degree, the cusp, going from one sign to another, and the other one is the cusp of a house. You've got both triggered when Pluto goes into Aquarius. It's right there. You've got 26 degree Capricorn on the house of home and family, of course, ruling home and family, what you're feeling now with the Jupiter, and then it hits Jupiter. So, yeah, and then it goes into Aquarius, which is like freeing up some of the energy. So there's definitely a lot going on with like changing and shifting of structures coming up in the early next decade. So about 5 years. Yeah,
I'm not too worried about that.
Good. No, I know. I see so much, and I'm just like, oh, look at that, look at that. Okay, so anyway.
It's good that you pointed that out.
Yeah, but, I like to do that. I like to foresee farther out, because it gives us an idea of where we're going as a collective. And definitely for you, you're feeling some of these triggers coming up. There will be a lot of stuff coming up for you at the turn of the next decade. And specifically around home and family and career. But definitely the collective and everyone is going to be going through 2020 to 2023 at the end degrees right there, going Pluto into Aquarius. Huge shift for our collective lifetimes. I mean, this is one of the biggest shifts in my opinion, because it's also the return of Pluto to where it was when our country was founded. So that energy is going to be prevalent again. And you can already feel it building with what's going on politically. But individually, it will also be a huge time of shift and change. So,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, well, okay. So I've got something to look forward to in the near future.
More expansion. Yeah, actually a lot of talk and ideas, but don't be surprised if you get more than one offer, and a couple of them come and go. Okay?
Yeah, I told I was going to get multiple offers, so you explain that.
Yeah. So, well, I hope that helps, and thanks for the call.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Good talking to you again.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, so we went past the halfway point, so I am going to take a quick break, and we'll see you in about 2 minutes. In these days of stress, running around, responsibilities, we all need a little place to go to make it all better. Is that place sports, football, or maybe you like to garden, paint, or just listen to music? Wherever your happy place is, you can find a shirt or mug to reflect that happy place. At myhappyplace.rocks, we have a variety of lifestyle products, including iPhone cases, pajamas, and pet items, all with beautiful, colorful designs, which help us go to our happy place. Stop by on the web for great gift ideas for others and yourself. myhappyplace.rocks. Lenny Pickett appears courtesy of Random Act Records. Check them out at randomactrecords.com. So welcome back. My name is Shelley Overton, and you are listening to the AstroEnergy Show on Blog Talk Radio. So if you would like to get together and have a reading, I would love to do it. I love getting really deep into charts, and I can tell you so much information, so much more than I even can give here. So you can get me at astrologerangel.com. And right now, I've got the lovely ice cream man going by. So, yay. Okay, we're going to take another call now. Let's see who we have. 619. Hi, who is this? 619, are you there? Are you on mute? Hello? Oh, 619. I don't know. He didn't drop off, I don't think. So we'll come back to you. So let's see who we have on 201. It's your lucky day. Hi, 201. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Hi,
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, you are on mute, too. Who is this?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. How's it going for you today?
Not too good with the health. I'm not feeling well.
Okay.
So, I want to see, what do you see? Is my health going to get worse before it gets better?
Okay, well, let's
feel like everything's coming down at me. So.
It's all coming down on you? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I go from one thing to the next.
Well, first off, I'm going to ask you about it in a minute, but first off, you've got Saturn and Virgo in your house of health and work and service, and right now Jupiter is in the 12th house of what would be, if that were the first house, that's the issue. Jupiter's going through your 12th, or the hidden part, so there's something that's hidden going on here, and it's in Leo, and Leo rules the heart. So do you have anything going on with the heart, or?
I feel my blood pressure's high lately, and
Okay.
I never had that before.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm going to the doctor tomorrow.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. And then what happens is, again, when Jupiter gets into Virgo, which is the end of August, he's going to go into your house of work and health, and then he's going to expand. Probably there'll be a certain amount of activity going on with your health. But when he comes around to Saturn, Saturn is where he has to, be taken to task. It's like, okay, what's going on with this? So I think that come the beginning of next year, I know it seems a ways away, but Jupiter has to get to 9 degrees. There's going to be a little back and forth because right about the time Jupiter gets to that degree, to about 9 degrees of Virgo, he's going to retrograde. So let me just see. He'll actually get to 9 degrees in September very quickly. Wow. He just gets into Virgo and he's already at 9 degrees in September. But he will retrograde next year. I don't know if he'll even get back. I guess he won't get back. He'll get to
You feel that things are going to be better at that time? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's when you're going to find out, like, the root cause, and you're going to actually get the help you're looking for everything going on with your health. That's what I think.
Wow.
Right now, Mars is also in Taurus, which rules your body, like the actual physical body, and, all the Taurus energy that I listed earlier, Sun, Mercury, and Mars, they're there. And, so they're also kind of kicking up some issues. I would say, if you give me a second to just look around your chart and see what's going on here. Oh, and the other thing is Saturn is squaring your natal Saturn in about a 9 degree. Okay, it means that it's 90 degrees away. So where your Saturn is in the sky when you were born, Saturn is now about 90 degrees away from that, triggering that energy and making it a little bit difficult. It's saying, okay, you need to be, well, in his direct motion, he's saying you need to get up and be physical and get out and be active and be in nature. Retrograde means that right now he's going back over what you've done for the last few months and seeing if there's something more that can be gleaned out of that. Like, what else is going on? Is what we did in the first few months of this year helping you? But it's also going to kick up some more of those issues because it's a struggle. Okay, that's what that is. It's that struggle. When he gets back into Scorpio, there's going to be a little bit more of the deep emotional issues. And I am definitely a holistic practitioner in the sense that everything in our health is related to like the whole, our system as a whole. That means body, mind, spirit.
Right.
So, are you connecting these issues to something that's going on in your belief system? Like even as simple as I believe that I'm not going to be healthy. I mean, that's a simple thing. Like I'm not healthy. I believe I'm not going to be. Like somehow you can even do it that way, but it can get deeper. And there's actually an interesting exercise you can do where you kind of close your eyes and just visualize what color your issue is and what shape it is. And, if you could say this is an emotion, what would it be? And then when you find out what emotion is connected to it, you can probably take it to the next level and find out what is triggering you in some sense, like why. And the other thing that you can do with health issues is ask yourself, how does it benefit you to have that issue? In other words, not that you're consciously trying to be unhealthy, but that if it were doing something for you, what would it be? Like, well, because I'm sick, then I don't have to face that issue over there. You know what I mean? So there may be something that you're not recognizing that it may be benefiting you in a way that you hadn't consciously thought of. So, really tuning in and kind of following those threads can help you also.
Okay.
For the holistic side of it.
Right.
But, you've got Venus square, which of course rules your body, squaring your Saturn right now, but it's transient. I mean, it isn't going to stay around long. It's going to continue to move on. But Mars will be there by the end of May. So you're probably going to have some more issues with this through May and June. Okay? Yeah. Venus and then followed by Mars. So like Mars, because Venus is out front and Mars follows her right now, she's kind of leading the way. Like we're seeing the issue and then Mars is going to say, okay, now there's more activity on that. So whatever she sees, then Mars goes, okay, now here's how we're taking action. So that can also help you. But in Gemini, Mars is much more difficult because it's squaring your Saturn in health. Right now, in Taurus, again, Taurus is about the body. So if you could change your diet, that would be helpful. Definitely Mercury and Mars in Taurus is like, watch what you're eating. Blood pressure is salt. So if you're eating too much salt,
sugar too, I think.
Yeah, if you're getting the message from Spirit, sugar and salt are right at the top of my list of what I'm getting from Spirit right now. And it's the hardest thing. And gluten. I'm really avoiding gluten. I didn't have the gluten message for a while. It may have been coming in, but I was ignoring it.
I'm like, doing that already.
Are you? That. Yeah, I'm starting to notice that when I have the gluten, my joints definitely ache more. And certain kinds of wine with sulfates in them. Or sulfites.
Yeah.
And and then the breads and the pastas and eaten in combination when you go out and have Italian. It's like,
God.
Yeah, the pasta and the wine, and then the next day I'm like, oh, this hurts. This is not fun. I got to stop this. This is not good.
Yeah.
So that combination, but definitely the salt. Like I even noticed it in my diet. I was binging on olives. I'm like, oh, they're so good. And, of course, you crave what you're not supposed to have. So, interestingly, I had some olives, and I'm like, okay, I got to cut back on these. But I eat pizza that I make myself with olives, the sliced salad olives, and I dropped a jar of olives. And, like, okay, so now the universe...
Fine. Don't eat the olives.
It's like, cut that out, cut the olives out, because it bloats you. It helps you retain water as well. So it makes you, puffier and appear to be larger than you have to be. So, definitely look out for those things if you can. Okay? So, it's coming up throughout the rest of the year, but definitely when Jupiter goes
in... to the doctor tomorrow.
So Jupiter expands things, so it expands that interest in health. And I think that probably the last thing I'm going to give you a heads up on is when Saturn moves forward back into Sagittarius. And then he's going to be, I think that there's a brief moment when he squares the Virgo energy. So, or what is it? Oh, Jupiter. So let me just tell you when that is. I should write it down because I looked it up already and I forgot about when it was. So I'm going to have to do a little figuring here. So what did I say? Jupiter and Virgo. Yeah, this isn't one of the easier things to do on the fly, is especially out of a book. I mean, if I had a really good program. Okay, so nope. Where is it? I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem.
Taking. They're right next to each other. Okay, that makes it easier. Okay, Saturn and Sagittarius. Oh, actually, you know what? I think that they already connected. Oh, wait a minute. It might happen 13, Saturn. Yeah, so it's going to be like May of next year. So look out for between April, May, June of next year. There will be like that, and it'll be around 13 degrees. So it's going to be almost a direct hit on your Saturn, which is 9 degrees. Okay, so it'll be about 4 degrees off your Saturn in health. So this time next year, it will be like that. You've got to make the change or it's going to be serious. So,
okay, I understand.
You know, start listening to the messages you're getting right now. Okay?
Right.
And then you can better next year. Well, I thank you for the phone call. Okay, take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Okay, let's see what we have. Let's go back and see if we can get 619. 619, are you there?
I'm here. It's Steve. Thanks, Shelley.
I know. Hi, Steve. I'm like, I think that's Steve. So, what's
so
up?
Funny that it's funny you're talking about messages from Spirit because I've been seeking messages from Spirit as far as my direction career-wise, and I'm just wondering, is there a block? Is that why it's taking so long? And if you see me making some type of intuitive breakthrough anytime soon?
Okay, you said messages from Spirit regarding what subject?
Career. My next.
Okay. Yeah, your career is Gemini. Like right now, okay, so you've got the Venus going in the house of career, which is the desire. And then Mars is, okay, again for you, and I'm going to use this a little bit more, Mars is in what would be the 12th house of your career, which is the hidden. So it's going on behind the scenes. And let me tell you, when it's what's considered the 12th house to whatever subject you're in, it's difficult because then it has an overlay of Pisces and it's not out in the open. It's not apparent. It's more bogged down. So right now it's about education and learning, and you're learning about the money side of things. Do you feel like that?
Not really, no.
Well, then you need to be because that's what it's about for you. Mars, Mercury, and Taurus. Taurus is in the 9th house. It's about how to, well, also I shouldn't say, tell me once again, is it music you said?
Yes.
Okay. Taurus rules the throat and the voice and musical, the beauty of music, that kind of thing. So it is about music. So Mercury is in Taurus conjunct Mars, so it's about taking the action. But right now, if you're trying to make something happen, because it's the 9th house, technically, that's about like colleges. Have you tried to book anything at a college? Or I think that would be a really good venue if you would consider it.
Yeah, but that's not kind of what I'm asking. I'm trying to think intuitive answers about the career that I've been hearing. I'm supposed to get intuitively.
Okay. Okay, so you're blocked intuitively.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Okay,
well, it's just a matter of timing, you know.
Ironically, Mars and Mercury, which are in Taurus, are directly squaring your natal Venus and Jupiter in your 12th house. So there's, Jupiter is expanding things. It's in your natal 12th house, and it's directly squaring Mars, which is taking action. So there's another layer of that same thing. It's like, it's behind the scenes. And when Jupiter goes into Virgo, which will be September for you, that's when you're going to move out of that bogged down kind of soupy energy. Okay? As far as tuning in, let me think. So what do you do creatively? What are you doing to create something new?
Nothing really.
Okay, well, that's part of the problem because you've got Saturn in trine to your natal Uranus in the 12th, which is in Leo, and also Venus at 10. So there's a desire to be creative, and Jupiter's expanding this desire. If you're not tuning into that, then you're probably missing it, and that's really what's going on. Like, it has to be about, drama. Are you doing anything? Maybe there's a connection to acting. Have you tried anything acting?
No, that hasn't been my interest.
Okay, well, I'm just going to give you a little idea from your chart. You have Venus in Pisces and Mars in Pisces, not Venus, Moon in Pisces and Mars in Pisces. Moon is in the house of work, and partnership is where your Mars is, but it's in Pisces. And Mars, wherever our Mars is what we are drawn to take action on. If you don't necessarily have an interest, I'm just opening up to the possibility of something else, which is TV or film or photography, which is what Pisces rules. But the other common connection is because of the Mars in Pisces, which rules the house Jupiter's in, it's also the hidden, it's also being bogged down, and then your Moon is there. There's the intuitive side you were talking about, but the creative side wants to express itself, and the way Pisces likes to express is either through connecting, like, I know it sounds strange, but genealogy and ancestry is a huge passion for that energy. And then film. And the reason is because you can tell a story through film, and you can tell it through photography. And with Jupiter expanding the creative side, there's also the storytelling aspect of Leo. So you've got a number of different things you could try, and I would say if you're not being attracted to spirit and intuition, you need to try something that brings out the creative nature, okay?
So how would that trigger the intuitive answers?
Because when you do something that's creative, like you start to draw or you start to, if you're going to use your music, go to a park and just play around. Jupiter loves to be outdoors. Go and play around. It's in the 12th house. Go near water. Go outside. Just start blowing on the instrument. What happens is you go to the right side of your brain, time passes, and you actually open yourself up more to intuition. Because when you're in that state of not noticing the passage of time, that's when you're in spirit. That's when you're connected to spirit, when you're in your higher self. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So what you're trying to do is connect to that right side. Pardon me?
So it's things that are connected to the 12th house.
Yeah, there's a lot connected to the 12th. And also Jupiter. So you've got two very distinct patterns going on with Jupiter, which is learning, education, spirituality.
Right.
And also, Mars right now is transiting the house ruled by Jupiter. You've got Jupiter in the 12th house. You've got Saturn in Sagittarius, which is, it's transiting your house of home and family, just went retrograde. So it's going back, and it will be exactly conjunct your natal Saturn. When it's at the farthest back degree, it will go in retrograde, which is coming up in July. So, yeah, you've got a lot of, and Sagittarius rules music too, musicians, as far as I'm concerned. So, all part of the same, and then your natal Jupiter's in the first house of Virgo, so you're coming up on a Jupiter return, but it isn't going to happen until after Jupiter gets to Virgo. And It will be right there, after September, October timeframe. So that's going to be, and it also rules work. So when Jupiter gets to Virgo, it's going to work. Pardon me?
I would like to think answers would come before then, though.
Well, no, they will come.
I do get messages and everything, but they aren't that type of messages. I hear things and stuff like that, But
do you?
I just,
lucky you.
Yeah, I'm clear audience.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I have clairgustance, which is I can taste things, which is not necessarily a really fun thing to have. Well, that's awesome, and I think that it is going to come. But I think right now, looking at your chart, you've got a lot of struggle. You've got Saturn squaring your natal or your rising sign. So there's definitely, and it's also squaring your Pluto. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What's the best way to work with that energy?
What I said, find a place to get quiet, get creative, because when you get on the right side of your brain, it can be any of the things I listed. Do something creative, and then you'll be off in the ethers, so to speak, because left brain notices time, right brain loses track of time. Okay? So you want to get on the right side. You're welcome.
Thanks for your patience, and I'll go back and listen to re-listen to
No, it's cool. All right, it's good talking to you again.
Thanks, Shelley. Appreciate it.
Take care. You're welcome. And let's see. So we talked to Kim, and we'll go to 951. As soon as my computer catches up with me. There we go, 951. Hello.
Hello, it's Nathaniel. How you doing?
It is. I'm awesome. And you?
Great.
Good deal. So what can I do for you?
Well, I'm, kind of looking for a girlfriend and a new place to live and a job along with hand in hand all.
Okay. Well, I think the place to live is not far off. You got Jupiter 5 degrees off of going into house, home, and family, so that's pretty close, pretty quick. And Jupiter's starting to move fairly fast now. And I really should mark the page I'm on so I don't have to keep searching for it. Hang on a second. Okay, so Jupiter at 17 degrees is what you're looking for, and that happens the beginning of June. You're looking for a place to live. Tell me you have a place to live for the moment.
Oh, yeah, I've been living in the same place for about a year.
Okay. Well, yeah, in June, Jupiter's going to be right there at 17. So it'll be literally the 10th of June. And so that's only, 7 weeks away, something like that. So that's pretty good. And once Jupiter goes across that cusp, again, Jupiter is the planet of fortune, and it's moving into your house of home and family, and that's usually when something happens, and then before September for sure, because when Jupiter hits your Pluto in Leo at 27, that's like major life change. So I think that's going to be a huge point of moving. And are you looking to go somewhere far away, which again, Jupiter rules distance?
It might be far away. I'm meeting people all over the country, and my brother's in China right now, and
oh my gosh,
I had a dream last night, and it said I looked up. I thought I was in Garden Grove in Orange County. It's the Oriental place, and I looked up at the signs, and they were in another language. I looked up the street signs. I moved out to look up the street signs.
So you're getting messages, and you've got Sun, Mercury, Mars in your 12th house also, and you have natal Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Moon in the 12th house. So you're very in tune.
Well, I took this nap from 1 to 2, and your show entered, and I'm sleeping with a sleep apnea machine. And I must have had 100 dreams in an hour.
Wow!
And, I was telling the people that I was taken out by sleep apnea machine, and then I realized that I had it on. I'm sleeping, but I didn't even realize until I woke up. It was really I've never had that many dreams in an hour.
Wow. Well, I've been very, very open to dreams lately myself. So I think that this is a really, really fertile time for dreams, especially with Neptune in Pisces. And, we've just got a lot of the open energy coming in. And so definitely Venus and Gemini, to me, as far as I'm concerned, Gemini is, the electrical energy makes us really wired to pick up a lot more stuff, like channeling energy. So that can also contribute. And for you, you've got all the planets in your 12th house. So, pay attention to that. I think that definitely there's some opportunities to go far away. I think it's going to speak to your soul. You've got Pluto and Leo in the house of home and family. Jupiter's expanding that and also potentially taking you far away. And next year, Jupiter is going to be in a Jupiter return for you at 22 Virgo. And then that's at the very last 2 degrees of your house of home and family. So there's going to be some kind of work coming your way, probably around the home and family situation, or something related to health of a family member coming for you next year. But I'm just letting you know. And my show is over, Nathaniel. I'm sorry I can't talk to you any longer.
I'm lucky I got in because I just
You
called
are.
in.
You are.
And you had so many callers. I thought, because I was on the phone for a while with my security guard thing, and they called, and I talked a little bit on that, but I know you got to wrap up the show, so thank you so much. You're fabulous.
Thank you for coming on. And thank you. See you later. And thank you, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't get to the other callers. That is, I'm trying to go faster, but please do call back if you've never talked, and I will try and get to you next time. Thank you. See you later. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com.